All right, it is 6 o'clock on the East Coast, 3 o'clock here on the West Coast. My name is Justin Scanson. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Just Play, and this is Just Play tips and tricks for My Just Play. Doing all the hard work today is Jesse Green, our Director of Football Training. Jesse, how's it going?
It's going well. So the ice is melting here in Illinois, so I'm happy.
Good, that's good. It's been a few months since we've done one of these webinars, but we do think it's extremely important that you guys have an opportunity to kind of see how we use the software and ask any questions that you might have. So if you guys do have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop those in the chat. I have a few questions for you guys, and I'm going to launch a poll right now. You should see a poll pop up on your screen with 3 questions. First one, just how long have you been using Just Play? New users versus people who've been in our software for more than a year. Question 2, did you receive and read our onboarding emails? When you buy Just Play, you get a series of 7 or 8 emails from us because we do want to make sure that you are getting the most out of our product. And if you aren't getting those, we need to know. So I appreciate you guys answering that question. And then what's the one topic you're most interested in today? Organization and terminology is what we'll start with first today. It is the foundation of how to build out your Just Play platform. Diagram tools, game plan and installs, which is now easy for me to say, presentations, film upload, printing, or other. All right, it looks like everybody's voted, so we will end the poll now. Share the results real quick. A majority of you started sometime this fall or in the summer. And it does look like you guys are at least receiving the emails, so that is fantastic. And organization terminology is what you guys are most interested in, which is fantastic. I think that's one of the main reasons we need to have one of these webinars. Okay, so with all the housekeeping out of the way, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. Jesse, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's start with basic organization and terminology.
All right, sounds good. First thing you want to do is click into your side of the ball here, and then click in on terminology. And then you'll see a manage types option here. So you want to go ahead and click in on that, and we want to find the term types that you guys are going to be using the most and tagging your plays, because these are going to become the folders that you use to organize your playbook here. So if coverage beaters is something that is important to you, go ahead and click this button here and then click the top little admin. If it's not, we can uncheck that and it will no longer be a top level term. And these are nice because when we build out these terms here, it's nice because we can then go in and there'll be default settings for us, so we don't have to go in and use a drop down menu and keep adding them in.
So Jesse, one of the things we do want to start with is this is the basic organization for your whole playbook. So you can customize it however you want, organize it however you want, and putting in some thought as you get started is important.
Mm-hmm. And if we don't have the term type here that you want, go ahead and click add type and you can create your own. Just type out the name here, choose the side of the ball, and then just check this top level admin button, because if you're making it, it's probably something that's important to you that you're going to be wanting to be able to filter your playbook by. And that can be something like situation or just general or year. So if you want to separate your playbooks by year, this is a great way to do that as well. Once you've done that, especially on the offensive side, I tell you guys to go in and build out your formations. And over here, you can notice these are our top level terms. They're there. So I can go ahead and click with the in there. And we have all of our formations here. We'll start with a new one. I'll hit new formation. We'll just call this one spread. And then I'm going to hit add. You can do spread left and right, or if you have a left and right calls to your formations here, I personally like to keep my formations together under one if it's spread right and left under to get under one uh, heading there with that. So if you want to add any notes, you can add some notes down here at the bottom. Then we'll go in here to our diagrams tab. From here, we're going to hit add. So then we can go in and search for you guys that have built stuff already. We can go in and search by that diagram name here. We're going to pretend we don't have anything built. We're going to go in here to our starters and we'll search 2x2 and find a 2x2 diagram here. And then we can click in on that. And then we can start moving and adjusting our players from there. Those of you that are newer or don't know about this assist with alignment, I recommend it's down here in the lower left. Go ahead and clicking that on, because when you move individuals around, you'll see that red line will pop up. You'll also get some blue lines to pop up sometimes to help with spacing, as you can see there, to see where everybody's lined up there with that. From here, we can then move our guys around. I can either single click and our design properties will pop up over here where I can change the letters. I can go in and add fill to this if I want to. I can even change the text fill there with that. So you can go in and set this up however you would like. I'll switch that back here. Or you can double click and get those same options to pop up here. And then also it's going to be, some of them are set to college there. So you can go ahead and change that to high school hash for you college guys or high school. You can kind of change those hashes depending on what level or what size hashes you guys play with.
So Jesse, tell us a little bit here. You are essentially creating a template, correct? We're not drawing any plays out of this. We're still in our organization and terminology, and that's where we're setting spread up right now, correct?
Yep, correct. So this is just our basic. We're still kind of in that organizational side of things, because not only is this now becoming a template for us, it's also, if we want to bring these formations into a presentation, which we'll go over later, you can bring those in as well. So we're really knocking out two birds with one stone.
Perfect.
When you're done, go ahead and hit save and exit. So I'm going to go ahead and tag this with a spread right look. So under diagram name here, or I can click details below the diagram. I'm going to click on that. Now I'm just going to name this spread right and then hit save. Now, if I want to do spread left or any other variation of spread, I can simply hit this copy button here. It's then been copied. I'm going to go click on spread right there again. Now we'll change that to spread left, hit save, and then I'm going to hit my edit button here to go back into my diagramming tool, flip the diagram up here at the top. I can flip it east and west and north and south, and then just go ahead and hit save and exit there. So now I have spread left, spread right drawn out. If you want to continue to draw different variations, you can. For those of you that want to keep spread left and spread right separate, essentially I would just put spread right here, build out my one diagram, and then I would hit this copy button here. That would copy over that term, and then you could just change the name again, spread left, change this to spread left, and then go in and flip it just like I did there.
So you have an option, the copy button at the top is to copy a full terminology, and the copy underneath the diagram is simply to copy the diagram.
Right, copy the diagram within this specific term here, and then to kind of show you what that looks like, if I just hit copy, it'll let you rename it. You can put it into a separate term type if you want to as well, and it will copy original diagrams, copy original assignments as well if you decide to put stuff in the assignments tab like that.
Awesome. So Jesse, we have spread as a formation. We also have your top level, you see here on the left is your you have concept, personnel, play type. Is that kind of how you originally set yours up?
I set mine up. I'm a yes with those right there.
Okay.
I'm not a big personnel type. I just like to have it in there because I know a lot of coaches are. The main ways I like to organize it is by play type, then concept, and then maybe filter down by formation. I just like to start with formation first, because that is going to, all your plays start with a formation. You're not lining up without a formation. So jumping in there with that.
Fantastic. If you guys have any questions about terminology, organization, and what Jesse's done here, creating spread right and spread left, drop those questions in the chat. If you're good for us to keep moving on, give me a yes in the chat, please. Jesse, this is like riding a bike. Jump back into webinar. You and I, we got this. All right, it looks like coaches are ready to go. If you guys do have questions, we will definitely circle back for that. Okay. All right, Jesse, we have spread. What do we do next?
So now that we have our formations built out, we can go and start working on our playbook here. So notice our playbook here is now, when we click in here, this is our playbook and it's grouped by these different term types. So again, here's that list, very similar to those term types we just looked at. So again, I have it grouped by play type and concept. So when I click into my play action passes, here's my concepts right here. So every play that has cross is right there, and notice it says play action there. So that's why it's in those folders. Same thing with pass here. We have our play type. Our concept is for vert. So concept, play type there.
So where would we find spread that we just created?
Spread is not going to be in here because we have not tagged it with a particular play. So actually, if I go in and do formation, you'll notice there's different formations in here, but you're not going to have spread in here because we haven't tagged it to a particular play yet.
Perfect.
So that's when we'll go in and do add new play. And we'll just call this smash. So we'll go with the smash concept. And then for our concept here, we'll say that is smash. You'll notice I'm typing this in and then hitting enter. And now if I were to exit out, you would see that it would pop up here, that once we save it. Smash. And then we have our different drop-ins. So all these are things that have already been put in there as a concept for me. So it could be trick play, stretch, all that stuff there. So you'll notice
you can add your concepts and formations ahead of time, but if you get to this point and there's something you want to add on the fly, you can simply type it in.
Right. So notice as I type in spread, it's right there for us. I can just click on it. And then again, play type is pass. And then we can add any notes if we want to here. And then we can just hit save when we're done. And it will take us to that menu. Looks very similar to the term we just built out with our different tabs for diagrams, assignments, and video there. So now we can go into our diagrams. We can hit add. And then this is where we can search for our spread, and everything's right there for us. So notice it'll say play, play, term. So I want to even filter down even more. I can go to type and I can filter just in term because I know that's where I built my formations, and there's spread right and spread left right there for me. So then I can just click in on that and start diagramming from that spread right formation that I drew up.
Fantastic.
Next
okay,
thing
so
you're gonna
before you start diagramming, any questions that you guys have with the organization of your playbook and then getting to this point? We've created a new play, smash, we've tagged it spread, and now we're jumping in the diagram. If you guys have any of those questions, drop in the chat. All right, Jesse, we have our formation. Let's draw the play.
Okay. Now we'll want to bring in a defense. So first thing you want to do here is go up to our global favorites. This is a giant folder full of things that we have pre-populated in here for you to use, whether that be a formation or a defensive front. If you hover above it, you'll see a preview of that. If you go down below here, you'll see different pressures and stunts out of different groupings. You'll see different routes. You'll see different O-line run game stuff drawn up, and as simple as just dragging and dropping it onto the screen. So right now we're just going to start here with a base 3-4 defense. We're going to drag and drop it in. From here, I'm able to double click, or we'll bring up my different options here, or I can resize this. I can change the color or the font of everyone. And then I can also use my green dots here to shrink this down, getting this the size that I want. And then I'll line that up there. And then I can move individuals around as needed from there as well. So I can get these moving wherever I need them to be. And then once I have this defense set, so I want these guys to be more up in a press look here, I can then click and drag, put that box around there again, and now I can save this as a favorite so I don't have to make those adjustments ever again. I can just hit this star icon, go 3-4 press, we'll name it, and then I'll go into my folder here. I'm going to put it under defensive fronts. If you hit this little black plus button here, you can create and name your own folders. Once I'm there, I'm going to hit add. I'm going to delete this defense out here. So now anytime I need that defense, I'm going to go over to my favorites, and I deleted that by hitting the delete key on my keyboard there. Go into defensive fronts, and there it is right there, the 3-4 press. Or I could also search for it. It pops up right there for me as well. And then again, click, drag, release right there on the canvas. You can move everybody as needed. And I can still click out, move, and adjust these guys, and it will not change that original at all. So that's another great thing with that. And not only does that work with just the whole defense, whole offense, you can do little sections of it as well. So I could bring in that cover 2 or 3D, things like this. You just click, drag, release, and whatever you have put that box around, that's where you can hit this star icon and save that, whatever you have selected there. And if you have like color or any extra notes by bringing in the text tool here, which we'll go over, all that'll save with it as well.
Fantastic.
Right.
Any questions that you guys have? Drop that in the chat. And some of these global favorites, kind of what happened, Jesse, what my understanding is, we just saw how coaches were already using Just Play, some of the combinations, some of the things that they were saving, the route combinations, and a number of different other things. And we just keep adding that to the library. So if you use your imagination, kind of think outside the box. What are you using now? What are you going to use in the future? Favorites is one of the things that we get the most feedback on, of a feature that coaches can't live without.
Yes, because you're essentially, if I have stuff drawn up, like if I was to do this slant bubble, just drag and drop, that's a combination that everybody's running with some type of, or double slant with an RPO behind it. If you had your route combination drawn up like this, and you had your blocking scheme drawn up with your different RPOs, you could literally mix and match your different route combinations with your different blocking schemes. Or in the run game, if you're blocking the perimeter a different way with different things like that, you block up, draw up your perimeter run game, your interior run game blocking, and you just drag and drop that stuff in there. So it makes it really easy to.
And there's something to be said for the consistency of the diagram. So if that route combination is drawn up exactly the same every time by using the favorites, your players are going to see that as a consistent teaching point from you.
Looks like, so my guess, only issues I'm thinking there with global favorites is you're dragging and dropping it kind of off the canvas possibly. Make sure you're using Google Chrome as your web browser there. And then I recommend you getting a wireless mouse, if not using a mouse there, because you're click holding that. And sometimes when you're using the touchpad, things can get off a little bit with that stuff.
So the question was, one of our coaches here was having trouble dropping from the global favorites onto the canvas. So a couple things. The number one thing, and the thing, if you ever write into support, the first thing we're going to ask you is if you're in Google Chrome. It just is better for our system. So I guess that's the first thing, making sure you're dropping in the middle, and then the wireless mouse. Coach, if you do have problems with that though, Jesse, show them the question mark in the upper right hand corner. Hit us up. We'd love to take a look and make sure that you're getting everything that you need.
And if you guys know how to do a screen recording of it and can replicate it, that helps tremendously if you can kind of send that in, because then we can kind of figure it out from there, makes things a little bit easier on our end too. Because 9 times out of 10, that's probably what I'm going to ask you to do in the first place. So if you can do that, that would be great as well.
All right. So Coach, let us know if you have any other questions with that. That covers favorites, saving favorites. What else do we want to cover here, working our way top to bottom?
We'll just work our way down into players and shapes here. So these shapes, same thing. You just click, drag, release onto the canvas there. You can use the green dots to make these bigger or smaller. You can double click and type in these. You can add color to both the inside. You can add color to the ring on the outside, and you can change the text there, color. So all sorts of things you can do there with those options there. And then I'm going to reset all this here actually so it doesn't save. You'll notice here in the top right, it's saving my settings here. So the next time, like if I bring this in, you'll notice it has a blue ring around it. So it's just kind of some like save preferences there for you with all that stuff. And then you can, one other thing, when you add the fill here that I like to show, it's good for if you're going to show like read and end and things like that. But if you double click and make this a little bit more transparent, so you can kind of, so where maybe guys are dropping in specific zones or specific hole is between defenders if you're trying to hit that slant or cover 2-hole shot, things like that. Makes that nice.
And once again, this is something that you can save as a favorite if you are doing zones of the field and
Yep.
things like that.
And those are right up here, wherever the different like coverages.
Yep.
That stuff there. So you can definitely put all that stuff. You can even bring in an image and save it as a favorite there as well. So. All right, next thing here, the A. Just again, drag and drop that in there, and then just type whatever you need to. So if this, guys running a specific route, a specific depth, or you just want to make some notes on here, that they're going to combo or whatever they need to do there with that. And again, you can double click and adjust everything as needed there with that. The rest of this stuff, again, the different backgrounds here, so pretty basic. The rest of the stuff is mainly just preferences, whether you want the show grid on. One thing I will say is do not turn this on. It's not very user-friendly. It's one thing that I really don't like. So do not use snap to grid. If you want help with alignment, put the assist with alignment tool on. Again, the rest is all preferential stuff there.
All right, so we have all of our formations, we have everything that we want on the canvas. Let's draw.
All right, down here we have our actual line tools. So we have a straight line, our 90-degree, our multi-point, and our curve tool. If you hover above it, it'll tell you the curve tool and the shortcut to get that. So if you actually hold Shift and the number 4, I'll be able to draw that curve line there. So that's kind of some shortcuts that we have. But starting with our straight line tool, you click and hold on that, and then it is a click, hold, drag, release. And so then I can use my yellow here, yellow dot, move that around and put that wherever I need to from there. Our 90-degree tool, same thing. Click, hold, drag, release. I grabbed the one with the blocking line there just to show you if you single click, you can change the endpoints over here on the left, or again, you can double click on the line itself to bring those options up. You can make the line thicker, change the line color, change the style of that line as well there with that. Now I'm going to skip our multi-point tool line for now and go ahead and move on to our curve tool. So again, it's click, hold, drag, release. You'll connect it to one of these 4 dots and you have it there. And then you have this bluish green dot here that you can move around and adjust to get this looking the way you want. It works really well for guards pulling, things like that. If you started at certain points, you will actually get 2 dots on the line. So you can really make that line and get that line looking exactly the way you need to. And another thing I like is you can use our zoom tool here at the top to zoom in, especially when you're drawing offensive line stuff here, to get that look and looking exactly the way you need.
And that was a question in the chat. Can you change or edit the canvas itself, like zoom into a part of the field? So that's the zoom. And then about yard line numbers. I don't think we actually have that.
We have them, it's all just set 0 here. If you want particular yard line or markers here, you'll need to use the end zone at the top where we're in the red zone to show that, or you want to show like the 60-yard special teams field there with that. We'll have, depending on if you have goal line at the top or the bottom of the screen, the numbers will flip there.
But when this saves and when you are either presenting on a Zoom using our presentations, or if you print, it's going to be the full diagram, correct, Jesse?
Yep, full diagram, and then it'll have the background there.
Yep. All right, so I think we are at multi-point tool.
Multi-point tool. So this one is everything else has been a click, hold, drag, release. This one is a little bit different. For the first part, it is a click, hold, drag, release. And then for the second part, I'm just going to go to where I want on the canvas and click. And then I can either hit this blue button right here or hit the escape key on my keyboard to end that line. And then you'll have a green dot at the breakpoints that you can move and adjust. And again, you have your yellow dot here that you can move this around as well. There are a couple other tricks we have with this multi-point tool. If I hold the Alt key, these lines will snap to 45s and 90-degree angles. So I'm holding it now, snapping to 45, 90. If I release, I got that free flowing there. So it's very easy to draw up post corner or something like that. Again, just hit the escape key, finish that line. I can always come back in here and do what I need to with that. Other things this multi-point tool can do. Let's say we're going to motion Y across and into the flats. So I'm going to hold the Alt key, click, hold, drag, release. And then I want this to kind of be a curve look here. I can hold the Shift key, get a curve look with my line here. And again, hit escape here to end it. And then I got my blue dot here that I can then click on and move and adjust this line as needed. And then if I hold Control and click, I can change different segments of that line to show that's a motion line. I can even change the color of that if I need to.
So real quick, Jesse, we have pressing and hold the Alt key to get your 45s and 90s, Shift key to curve, and then Control to change a segment of the line.
Correct.
And if coaches need to find that information, if they forget all the wisdom we're giving them here today, where do they find that?
Two different things. You can hit this blue question mark and hit how to draw lines. And we'll have a little pop-up here that'll show you and go through every line tool and how to use them. Or if you want to know just the keyboard shortcuts, go down here to the lower right and click on that, and it will pull up this window here with all the keyboard shortcuts. With that, we have a bunch. The main ones that I work on is multi-point tool here, because everything else I can either click on the line itself and flip it, or I can just select it here. Like if I wanted to select Y in the line, I could click it and I could flip Y in the line there. So
Perfect.
A lot easier for me personally to do that than remember a bunch of keyboard shortcuts besides the Alt, Control, and Shift.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Jesse, in creating the diagram, drawing the diagram itself? And if you guys have any questions with drawing the diagram, drop that into the chat. If you guys are ready to move on, give me a yes. We got a couple more things on our list, and probably we can wrap this in the next 10 minutes or so.
So one thing I will say, if you mess up, you don't really want to draw that line again, you hit delete, you got our undo button right there at the top. Undo and redo buttons there.
Perfect.
Nice one there. All right, when you're done, simply just hit save and exit. And you've got this diagram made. Me personally, when I continue to draw up Smash here, I would draw it up out of my 2x2 sets. Or you could just kind of out of this 2x2, because then your rules are going to be similar, or you can do it all of this one formation and then create a new play Smash out of different formations. Up to you again on your organizational side of that things. Assignments are very easy here. Just hit add, type in position, type in assignments and notes. You can go in here and add columns here. So it can be run to, runaway pass, or you can do like a coaching point thing here where I can just get rid of this stuff there with that as well. Once you've made it, you can just toggle it on and off there with that. Those of you that have video, simply just hit add here and then drag and drop those video files that you have downloaded from Huddle or whatever video provider you work with. Once it's in Just Play, you can just click here and pull it from your library. Or if you want to use a YouTube clip, you can click here and copy and paste that embed code right there with that.
And the video is available if you have My Just Play Pro.
Correct.
All right. So with that, Jesse, do you want, I think now would be a good time to show this in the app view, show us where to find the app view, and what we have in the app view is, what you're going to be able to see. Jesse, I guess if you were presenting this play in a Zoom call with your team, let's say you're not able to get in the locker room, you're not able to spend time with your team in person, this would be how you do it.
So if I was just presenting this play, I would hit this view app button here. If you want to get just to the app itself, hit this phone icon, but I'll hit view app here. And then we can jump in and you can see this play here. And you'll notice we have our diagram here, our play details that we've tagged up right here, and then our notes and assignments would be down here with that if we had added them in. If you added a video, it would be right here on the side. And just to kind of show you how this updates in real time. And my caps lock on, I'll do that, and I'll add a video from the library here just to show you how that is right there, going to update in real time there. And if I click back, video is right there.
Perfect. Okay, so that's just viewing one play in the app. I think what we want to do next, though, Jesse, is show it as a presentation, which used to be Game Plans and Installs.
Yes, it used to be Game Plans and Installs. We have now changed the name back here to Presentations. And the reason we did that is now it allows you to put the custom folders here. So if you want to make something for a coaching clinic, it really wasn't an install or a game plan, it was for a coaching clinic. So you can go in and name this. And the way you'll do that is when you hit new, you'll choose a type. And so you get to type in here whatever you want. My caps lock up. So that this is an install, and we'll just call this test. And then I can go ahead and hit submit. And notice we have a new folder here with install, and there's our test presentation. I can then go ahead and click in on there, and then I'll hit add items. And this is where I can add in plays, terms, videos, and diagrams here. So if I were going to go in and add in a term, again, I can look for my spread formation. We'll add that in. And there it is right there. So if we're going to coach up this spread formation and have a presentation here of what we just currently made. And I'm going to go ahead and hit add items. You notice we're going to plays now. There's 4 different options. This first one is the master play. So these are the plays. There's smash right there. I add that in, and it will say master there. So if I go in and I edit this smash play, it will change my master playbook here because it is the master play. Again, you can tell because it says master right there. I can delete it out from here, and it won't change. It's only going to delete it from here. It's still going to be in my master playbook. This second option here actually creates a copy of the play. And you can add multiple diagrams in here as well. You just got to check these boxes. We're just going to do one for now. And we'll hit add. And now you'll see it says version. So this allows me to actually go in and I can change this stuff here. I could delete out the assignments. I could delete out the video. I could delete out diagrams, and it won't change that master play. It's only going to change it here within the presentation itself.
So this would be like game specific. We're going to make an adjustment. The team that we're playing does something a little bit different. So we're going to do something a little bit different, but I don't want to change what we really run as Smash.
Correct.
Okay.
And then another place where it really comes in handy is add items, is create a new play specific to this presentation. So kind of what I like to do here is their top 5 runs or top 5 blitz package, or the top 5 blitzes that they do. Then hit save. And then I can just build out diagrams that are showing their top 5 blitzes, and then I can bring in video to match those 5 diagrams. So that's another nice thing that's really cool. And it's not going to show up in your playbook because this isn't your play. This is your presentation here with that, which is really nice.
And so this would be fantastic for that coach sitting here with a possible spring season coming up. How are you going to make the most of the time that you have with your team? Because I assume hours are limited. I assume preparation is different. If you can, hey, we have practice, we get 1 hour on the field, and then we're going to do a Zoom meeting tonight, and I'm going to show you this film with these diagrams where your players can see. So that's just an idea on being able to really take advantage of my just play in whatever situation we might be looking at right now.
And you can reorder this stuff as well by just drag and dropping that. And so when this is done and you're ready to present, go ahead and just hit this icon here. You'll share it with yourself. Go ahead and hit submit, and then we're going to turn it on. So now when I go back to the app on this home screen, you'll see it's right there for me, that test. So I can actually click in on that. I have my 3 items. Okay, guys, here's spread. And then I can then just hit this next button here to navigate through the different items that I've put in this presentation for you guys. And notice the video and the assignments aren't there anymore, but if I jump back into that play here, it'll be there. All the videos and assignments will actually be there for that. And you can hit next there with that. The other option that I haven't talked about here is the create from an old presentation or a new existing presentation. This lets you pull from old presentations, things that you've already done, and pull them in here so you don't have to redo those things. So you're playing a team that's similar. You play this team again the next year. You just want to edit some stuff and still have a copy from last year. It lets you pull that stuff in.
So the longer you're in Just Play, the more value it has. You have access to your full library. Everything you've done last season is at your fingertips to apply to this season. So you don't have to work harder. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's there for you.
Right.
All right, guys. Last thing on my list is printing. JG, anything else that we're missing at this point?
No, just printing for now.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, drop that in the chat. Jesse, let's talk about we talked about showing it on the app. We talked about presentations. Printing has become less and less popular, but is still at times necessary. So let's say we want to get this on paper. How do we do that?
So I really like the presentation mode here because it lets you print all these items at one time. If I hit print all items here, this will print the diagrams with the assignments if I had any here. So it would be diagram, assignments, secondary diagrams. Diagram, assignments, secondary diagrams with that. So that's kind of how that would work. If you're looking for just diagrams, so you don't need the assignments to come with it, I can hit print diagrams here. And what's nice about this is over here on the right, it lets you choose how you want this to be printed. So I can do 1 row of 1, I can do 4 rows of 4, however you want to, and a name, you can put the title of the presentation here as well. So it's really a great way if you want to use this to print out scout cards, another great way to do that. Another kind of great way to print something similar to this is using our play sheet builder. So if you click there, that lets you go through and filter your whole playbook by different things, and you just drag and drop over here on the right the diagrams you want, and then you hit create sheet, takes you to that same print setup we were looking at there, where you can choose what is printed off there and the way you want it to look with that.
So play sheet builder would be, instead of doing a presentation, this is something that we just want to throw together that might not necessarily be related.
Yep, and then you throw it together real quick, and then also if you hit print here, you can choose to save it as a PDF there as well. So if you have some quick diagrams you want to shoot over to a buddy real quick, you can just do that as well.
Perfect.
Last way to print is you can print individual plays itself. So if I go into this traffic play here and I just hit print here within that play.
Perfect.
And so this is what you have: a couple different settings, your notes, assignments, secondary diagrams, or we could go big up top, assignments, secondary diagrams.
Fantastic. All right, guys, if you guys have any other questions about printing, let me know. We did get one question in here. Something that we didn't cover is how to transfer video from Huddle, or specifically, I mean, how are we, if you do have access to video, Jesse, where do we begin?
So you'll first want to create the list of plays that you want to pull in, or list of video, I should say, that you want to pull in. So if you have your top 5 ways you run Inside Zone, get those, make a playlist, and then you'll download that playlist. Typically, and so kind of over here on the right, there'll be a menu where you can download, or you can go to your video managed library, which will be up at the top at Huddle, pull that playlist that you created out. Huddle will send that to you in an email. You'll get that folder. You'll click into that folder and select the video files themselves, and then just drag and drop them right in here. And they'll upload, and then once they're done uploading, you can actually hit done, and they'll upload in the background. So you don't have to sit there and watch a blue bar go across the screen and watch those videos upload. You can continue to work on stuff. And when it goes to a play, it will automatically go to your video library as well, where you can go in and pull in that video. Another cool thing is you can actually bring in, it doesn't have to be a Huddle clip, it can be a recording from your phone. So like if you record yourself on the whiteboard talking about a particular play, you can drag and drop that video in yourself, email that to yourself, and then just drag and drop that video over as well.
Perfect.
And then you can also do that, upload it directly to your video library as well here if you want to, same process.
Awesome. Jesse, I think we also have an import from Huddle article in our help center.
Okay.
So, Coach, I will send that to you as well. Any other questions that you guys have? And that link should show up in the chat for you guys right now.
I think that's actually for a team one. Yeah,
gotcha.
That's for, scratch that article.
Scratch that.
That's for a different, that's for one of our team functions, where we actually pull your data in with your Huddle clips.
Maybe we should sell them some team systems now.
Yeah, if you want a team system, we can help you with that. Though the one cool thing about team systems is, say you spend a couple months or a year in your Mind Just Plays, we can upgrade you and copy everything into your team system. So you're not going to have to worry about any of that stuff there, losing any of it or redrawing it or things like that.
Question in the chat, Jesse, how would you do a call sheet?
Whatever you're doing now, probably you're doing in Excel, I would stick with that, because the reason we have not really dove too deep into that is we asked a bunch of coaches, hey, how would you like your call sheet to look? Every single one of them had a different answer.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to have to format 150 different ways. It's just something that was impossible for us to do and make everybody happy. So most people are pretty happy doing it the way they're doing it. So I figured we'd just let them keep doing it the way they want to there.
All right, Jesse, you got another question here. I'm going to read it and hopefully it makes sense to you here.
Okay.
When setting up assignments,
Mhm.
you have 3 defenses, but your position goes in column 2 with a defense in row 1, 3, 4. Can you adjust it to keep position in column 1?
Yes. So you can just click and drag and move this stuff wherever you need to. So like if I wanted to pass over here, I can just click and drag and move it over there.
Got it. Coach, let us know if that answered your question.
And if all else fails there, just turn all these off. And then the order you turn them on is the order they're going to come in.
Perfect. All right. Anything else for you guys today? We are at the 40-minute mark, which is about where we end up each time, Jesse. We have been recording this, and I will get that processed and emailed to everybody tomorrow. So I'm going to hit stop on the recording here.